Hey guys, welcome to my channel Sengupta's Creation. I hope you will like my video. If you like the video, please like and subscribe my channel और घंटी भी बजा देना ताकि मैं जब ऑनलाइन आऊँ आपका भी घंटी बज जाए. Okay, so today we'll learn something new. First, I have given you my introduction. What is my introduction? Now what we'll do is we will start with a class. Today we will do some of the question answers of the chapter resources. I think I have done it though. Okay, let me present it right now. Okay, just a second. Hmm. So I hope you can see these questions here. I will start with the questions straight away. Um, So the first answer the following. So the first question is define the term resources. I'll read the questions first. Name the three main types of resources. Number three, draw a flow chart on the classifications of resource. Number four, what is resource conservation? Number five, in which three ways we can conserve the resource? And number six, what is sustainable development? Part question. Mention a few principles of it. So we'll start. Okay. Now that the students, you all should find the answers in the PowerPoint presentation. So whatever I have shown you, you should do that. Uh, but if you didn't see my videos, the previous two classes, so please do watch it so that you can understand what I am teaching right now. Though it was given in the presentations, it is my duty to take charge of you. So I will do the questions. So the first question was that define the term resource. Now, resource, I am not elaborating in the previous classes. I have already elaborated. So, see, define the term resource. Okay, so answer is anything that has some utility to satisfy our own need is known as a resource. Now, resource also means value. Actually, resource means value, and from value it comes utility or usability. So resource is equal to also utility or usability, utility, to satisfy our own needs, the things that the resources should satisfy our needs. This is what we called resource. This is the definition of the term resource. Next, we'll move on. Okay. Okay, so the next question is name the three main points of resources. So the answer is the three main points of resources are first the natural resource, second the human resource, and third the human made resource. So we will move on. Number three question number that draw a flow chart on the classifications of resource. So here is a chart. I hope you can see these things that from the types of resources there comes the three types. First the natural resource, then the human resource, then the human made resource. So from the natural resource there are a few types of resources. The first one is that it's based on the origin. In the origin it's divided into two. First is biotic. Examples like parts of animal organisms or animal organisms, and The second part of origin is abiotic, which is you can say the sun, water. These are some examples. The air. These are the examples. I hope you can see here. The examples are also written. So the next from natural resource is based on its utility, which is renewable. Examples can be solar, wind, energy, any type of energy. And non-renewable is, for example, fossil fuels, minerals, etc., etc. Next, natural resources is based on level of development. From development, we have potential resources and actual resources. Potential resources example are solar energy, any type of energy, etc., etc. And these energies, we can actually find them. So that is why we are telling them. Next is actual resources. The examples of it can be fuel energy, then wind energy, and etc., etc. Next, on based on the natural resources based on distribution. First is localized. Examples can be minerals, gold, etc., etc. And the second one is ubiquitous, which is examples can be solar uh, or wind, etc., etc. Next, we can move on. I hope you can see the slides here. So it is written here that what is resource conservation? So resource conservation means using the available resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed. An example of this conservation is the process of sustainable development. Sustainable development. Okay. Now the next number five. Sorry. Yes. So in which three ways can we conserve the resources? This is important. In which three ways? The three ways are the formula of 3 R's. Okay, so what are the formula of 3 R's? The first one is reduce, next is reuse, and then recycle. We all know what are these: reuse, reduce, and recycle, right? So I'm not going into much details here. Okay, next. Okay, next is what is sustainable development. Now, sustainable development means using resources wisely without damaging the environment, or conserving the resources for our future needs or future generation. This is we need to keep in mind. Next is there is also a past question of it, that is mention some principles of it. So the some principles of it, this slide I hope you see. This slide was given in the, what do I say, in the slide, so you can find them. Okay, so the first one is careful utilization of resources. Next is minimize the depletion of natural resources. Next is brings awareness and change personal attitude and practices. We should improve the quality of human life. We should keep the a clean environment. Okay, next I would like to thank you all, everybody. If you have no questions now, then I will move on to the next question. And please like and subscribe my channel Sangupta's Creation. I hope you will like my videos. And please, if you have any questions, please do comment on the below, and I'm seeing your chats here. I'm seeing your chats here. Let me see. Just a second. I hope. Don't know what is happening though. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Yes, yes, Ritisha. You see that these two are very different things, that human resources and human made resources, right? So these two are how they are different. Human resources are the, like, human resources are the resources from, which we can, uh how do I say this, the ability to think, the ability, the physical ability, the mental ability of us humans are the human resources. We people are itself the resources, human resources. But human made resources are that the humans make, we make. Examples, for example, buses or roads, vehicles, buildings, flats, like this. Okay, so next we will just move on. Just a second, let me clean this out. Discard. Now let me share the screen here. I don't know why it is happening. Okay. Okay, I hope you can see the video, the slides which I am trying to show you. Examples. So here we will do some of the questions from the NCERT solutions of for class 8 social science geography chapter number 1. These are some solved questions over here. So we will straight over start. Okay. So the first question, as you can see here, is written that what why are resources distributed unequally on the earth, right? So the answer for this question will be, just a second, just a second. Why is this happening? I feel mentally challenged when I am handling these things. Okay, so the answer of this will be, resources are distributed unequally over the earth. So you see, because they are distributed differently, the natural conditions or the physical factors like the terrain, climate, altitude, these all are, different things. So this is why we called, this is why resources are very unequally distributed over earth. Next we'll move on, that is, what is resource development? So the answer for this is here. I'm saying it first and then I'll show you the answers. That will help you gradually to understand and listen. So the second question is that, what is resource development? So the answer is resource development is the method of utilizing our intelligence in order to improve the quality, the usability, and utility of a resource. Next question: why are human resources so important? Now, you see that human resources are important because the development of other resources solely depends upon this resource, as human have knowledge, skill, and technology to develop other resources, right? And the next question is that what is sustainable development? I have just now done it also, that we should use resources in such a balanced way that we satisfy our needs as well as conserve them for the future. So this concept is called sustainable development. Okay, so I'll now show you all the answers together so that you can capture it. Just a second. Just a second. Where is it? I hope you can see this. The first question and answer of answer the following questions are here. You can take a screenshot of it. Next, number 3 and 4, these are the question and answers. So these are the whole and soul question and answer of it. Please see it. Okay. So next we may move on to the next question, which is tick the correct answer. So first question is, which one of the following does not make a substance a resource? Yes, it's quantity. It does not make utility. So you see, resources is equal to value. Eh, just a second. So you see that Z. Now resource is a value, and this value goes to utility, and value means utility. So what is left here? And utility means resource. So left is the quantity. So the answer will be this quantity. Okay. So let us move on to the next question, which is, which one of the following is a human made resource? I don't like these. Okay, so the options are medicines to treat cancer, next is spring water, next is tropical forest. So the answer for this is medicines to treat cancer. Okay, so this is because the medicines to treat cancers are made by us humans, but spring water are natural, tropical forests are natural. We didn't grow it, they are naturally grown. Oh, I hope you can see my videos. Don't know what is happening today. Okay, so the third question is differentiate between the following. So the first one is potential resources. So I will tell you some uh, differences between them. So the first difference between them is that a potential resource is not being currently used. What is the meaning of potential resources not being used currently? And actual resources meaning is that an actual resource is one which we use it currently. So the next point is a potential resource can prove useful and become an actual resource in the future. Okay, and actual resources, and actual resource might have been a potential resource in the past, but it may end up in the future, but till then we'll die obviously. So the next, we can say, I'll give four of it, four different the points. So the third one is the examples of potential resources and actual resources. This shouldn't be in a different point, but I'm giving it for your सुविधा के लिए. Examples are of potential resources is that uranium deposits in Ladakh, and number four, and examples of actual resources is coal deposits. So you see that potential resources is the entire quantity of potential resources may not be known. So this is what potential resources is, but the actual quantity of an actual resource is always known. So this is what we call actual resources, right? So I will move on. Next is ubiquitous and localized resources. But before that, I would like to show you this answer. You can take a screenshot of this, a potential resource and all this. Okay, next we'll move on to ubiquitous and localized resources. Now, what does this mean? Okay, so first we for learning this, we first need to know about that what ubiquitous resources. So it is one that is which is found all over the world, and localized resources are a localized resources, the one which is found in a particular region or physical condition. The second requirement for ubiquitous resources is its presence is not governed by physical conditions, and number two is the presence of a localized resource is governed by physical conditions. So the examples of localized resources are minerals, and you can say ubiquitous resources examples are air. Air. Okay, so I'll show you all over again. So this is the thing. Okay, I hope you can see. Please, please, please just take a screenshot, or you can also write it down. Next one. The next question is that an activity where you see that Rahim पानी रखिए. बात चल रही है कि रहीम पानी रखिए. बिन पानी सब सून. मतलब पानी गया ना उभरे मोद. मानुस chun. So, what does it say? What does this mean actually? It says that Rahim keeps water as without water there is nothing. So, what without waterfall or swan and doe cannot exist, right? So, these lines were written by the poet Abdur Rahim Khan. So these were the lines. Okay. So next, so one of the 9 James of Akbar's court, who was Abdul Rahim Khan Khanam. He was one of the 9 James of Akbar's court. So what kind of resource is the poet referring to? This is important. Actually, I will explain it to you. So write in 100 words and what should happen if this resource disappears. So this is very important. I will tell you first and then show you the answer. That the resource referred to the to by the poet in is the water, and it is one of the most indisciplined, what do we say, indispensable resource of life, and it can be said to be one of the preconditions of life, like for example, air. I hope you can see the slide actually. I don't know what is happening. Why is this happening, Mama? Help me. Whatever. Let's continue. That it was, and firstly, water serves the most basic purpose of drinking, without which life is even not possible. If we don't eat, you know, we need food, nutrition, but even if we for at least 1 to you know three 2 to 4 days, if we do not even eat food and just only eat water, you can even survive, but not without water. I tried once, मम्मी पापा के साथ झगड़ा हो गया था, तो मैंने नहीं खाया था। मैंने आई थिंक 5 दिन नहीं खाया था। मैंने सिर्फ पानी खाया था। Okay, so this was a little story. And so in the absence of water, you see that one could obviously recognize the possibility, or being unable to clean clothes, utensils, or even to take a bath. So farmers, depend on water for irrigation, and water, or rainwater, maybe rainwater is so important for proper agriculture, that it is very important. And water is also used in cooking food, and nowadays water has proved to be useful source of electricity too. So besides human beings, uh, plants requires water for their also growth. So water is required for various industrial purposes and factories. So what I was trying to tell you was that, in short, no form of life can go on without water. Okay, so I'll show you the answer right now. Just a second. Yes, you can take a screenshot or write it down too. Okay, so this is the answer. What I just told you was is written totally in this. Okay, so you see, you need to memorize it, because I am not seeing from anywhere. I am understanding and telling you, and the words are obviously same because I have written these questions myself, right? So would do. Okay. Next question is, we again do these were some questions that the previous questions were some questions I have given you. Now this is now some questions which will be discussing. It is given in your science book, not only NCERT. Now I think in class 8 in 2021, in south in 2021, there is also a, what do I say, sorry, there is also, in CBSE board also, the book is based on the NCERT. So from that book we'll do the questions, all the questions we'll do. So the first question is choose the correct option. So the answer, so the question is which of these is not a resource? First, the Indian Prime Minister. Obviously, it won't be a resource. Sorry, it is always a resource because it is a human resource. In the Indian Prime Minister is a human resource, and your geography book is obviously a resource. It is a human made resource because humans are making this human made, and also human resource, I would say that it is human and human made resource both. Why? Because this, you see, that human the knowledge that is given there is the human resource, the ability or the mental ability, and the book that is made by us is the human made resource. So both we can see. Okay, so the next point is that a small piece of paper, yes, it is natural resource, it is from nature. The piece of paper, I'm sorry, it is not, it's a part natural, but it is human made. Why? Because the trees are natural resources, and from the trees we get we cut the trees and then make the paper, so it becomes the piece of paper. So you see that the next what do I say? Option is none of these. The answer will be none of these. Why none of these? Because these are no, each of these are a resource, and you need to remember what is in the question. Is it not a resource wanting, or it is a resource wanting? This is what we want. Okay, read the questions very carefully. Next will be which of these does not have economic worth but is valuable. You see that shoes have economic values, mountains does not have economic value but it's valuable. If mountains are not there, there will be no glaciers, there will be change in the atmospheric air pressure, and the temperatures, it can also fluctuate very often. Then coal has economic value, and none of these it won't be, and the so I'm the correct answer is the mountains. So next one is that the types of resources on basics of stocks are ubiquitous and localized. Number B, actual and potential. Number C, renewable and non-renewable. So the answer will be renewable and non-renewable. I have shown you the slide. Just watch it. Go to just a little back, and you can see the slide I've shown you. And abiotic and biotic, it will not. Okay, so the next question is that which of the following is a non-renewable resource? Solar energy? No, it is a renewable resource. Water? Renewable resource. Soil? Renewable resource. But natural gas is a non-renewable resource. Okay, next is which of these is an example of sustainable development? So you see, first is ignoring the lights when they are switched on but not required. Next is not wasting paper. Next is using coal and petroleum deposits as a fast pace. And number D, none of these. The answer will be not wasting paper. So which of this is an example of um, sustainable development? Sustainable development means it is conserving the resources for our future uses. That isn't true. Okay, so the answer will be not, the first one. You see that ignoring lights when they are switched on but not required. After, in the future, there might not be the electricity. Why? Because we are wasting this source. source of electricity. So it will not be not wasting paper. Yes, this is the correct answer. Why? Because not wasting paper is conserving the resource. Next is using coal and petroleum deposits as a fast pace. So coal and petroleum, you see, that is a potential potential resource, I would say. Why? Because if we use it at a fast pace or fast rate, what will happen? It will be finished off, and once it is finished off, what will happen is it might be we can again find this coal and petroleum in the future, but still it is a potential resource. Why? Because it can be found in future, and at that time, future means it can be even 100 years or a century, or century or five, anything can be. So at that time we won't be alive, right? So this is why the answer will be number B, not wasting paper. Next, the answers are written here, you can watch them again. Next, before going to number two, question number two. Now, if you have any questions, can anyone tell me, please? Can anyone tell me if you have any questions? Please, please, please tell me. Let me drink some water. I'm doing streaming 5 hours, I think. 5 hours. Continuously. I didn't even drink water. I just took, I think, in this 5 hours, I took total 7 to 8 minutes for at least eating some snacks, and that's all. Teaching 5 to 7 hours is impossible, I think. But it is possible. I can possible make that possible. Hmm. Okay. So now let us move on to the next question, uh, which is fill in the blanks with the spaces. So the first, just a second. So the first answer you see, the question is a sustainable substance becomes a resource if it has what? I've just told you, if it has, I'm writing it down, I know, utility. Utility. Next is dash and dash are two important factors which make a substance a resource. This is important. So the answer for this will be time and technology. I am writing here tech, but it will be technology. Okay. Next is on the basis of the level of development, resources are classified into dash and dash. So the answer will be, let me write it down, actual resources, actual, and potential. Potential. Okay, next one is that an actual resource is too crazy might have been dash resource some time ago. So the answer is potential resource. Now it is not there, but it can be again. It can be again in the future, but at that time we won't live. The next one is, I'm sorry, wait a second, just a second. 5, 10, 11. Windmills generate res- dash energy, which is a resource because There, this will be an underline. I forgot. I think I don't know what is happening. Though, okay, windmills generate. What do they generate? They generate wind energy, which is a resource because it will never end up. Okay. Next is, although renewable resources can be replenished, we should be regarding their we should be regarding their uh, use. So the answer for this will be careful. It will be, just a second, careful. So although renewable resources can be replenished, we should be careful. Next is, coal and petroleum are examples of dash resource. It will be non, let me write it in short, non-renewable resources. In short, I'll write this. Okay. Next is, air is a ubiquitous resource since it is found in dash. The answer will be everywhere. Ubiquitous is found in everywhere. There are answers also written. You can find them everywhere. So next is, physical factors affecting the presence of a localized resource are dash and dash and dash also. So terrain, altitude and climate. So this is terrain. Just a second, give me a moment, because I am writing with a mouse and it is very problematic with to write with the mouse. Altitude. So of a localized, so physical factors affecting the presence of um, a localized resource are terrain, altitude and climate, obviously. Next question is that, using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed, what is it called? It is known as resource conservation. Conservation. Okay. So now here are the answers written. I hope you can see the answers. I'll short the screen so that you can all see. So these are the answers. I hope you can see. This is question number 2. Please see the answers. You can take a screenshot or uh, write it down. Now, if you have any questions, please tell me. Oh. Mm. Okay, we'll start again. Next is next is state whether each of the following statements are true or false. Let's see this. Okay, so the first question here is, we should waste water since it is a renewable resource and we do not need to be careful in its use. And this is absolutely false. We obviously need to be careful. Next is, a resource always has the same economic value. The answer of this is false. Obviously, a resource won't always have the economic in different places. The resources, or the amount of resources, or the economic value of the resources would never be same. Next is, with respect to electricity, water was a potential resource until a few years back, but now it is not, right? So it is. Next is, all natural resources or all natural sources of energy are renewable. It will be false. The answer of this will be false. Because all natural resources of energy are not always renewable. It can also be non-renewable, right? Okay, next is, a farmer is a human resource. Yes, it's true that it is a human resource. Next is, resources need to be conserved for future generation. Yes, it is also true. The process from which we can continue is that we can call it as sustainable development. Next is, sustainable development is a way to use resources carefully as well as saving them for the future. Yes, it's absolutely true what a sustainable development means. Now you can take a screenshot or write it down. Okay, I would like to show you the answers here. These are the answers whole. You see, you can take a screenshot or write it down again. Okay. Next, we will move on to the next question, which is, so these are all done. Next is, match the items given in column 1 correctly with those in column 2. Okay, so this is, the answers of this will be, that first is resource, right? So from resource we will take the, from number B goes with number D, utility. So we have always learned that, just a line. Okay, you see, resource and utility. Next is windmill. Windmill is, you can say, goes with, from the B. You see, it will not be renewable source of energy but a human made resource. So windmill is a renewable source of energy. So windmill is a, sorry, what is happening? Windmill is a renewable source of energy. Okay. Next is plants and trees. Number 3 goes with biotic resources. We know that plants and plants and resources are, goes with biotic resources. Just let me. Plants and this goes with. Okay. Next is a vehicle. What does a vehicle go with? A vehicle goes with human made resources, because a vehicle is a human made resource. Okay. Next one is that rocks and minerals. Only one is left, that is rocks and minerals goes with mm, abiotic resources. Okay, so it is fixed that now resource goes with utility, then windmill goes to a renewable source of energy. Next, plants and trees goes to biotic resource, and then a vehicle, what is a vehicle goes to? A vehicle goes to human made resource, and rocks and minerals goes to biotic resource. Now you can take a screenshot of it or write it down, it's upon you. Here are the answers also, you can take them. Here are the answers. Okay, next we'll move on. Next is, this is of the class 8 geography chapter 1 resources, very short answer type questions. This is the questions. Let us see what is the first question. First question is, what is the condition for a substance to be called resource? This is important. The answer will be, a substance needs to have some utility to be called a resource. Now I am not explaining, as I have in the previous classes, I have already explained what is resource, what is a substance, what is its utility, why is it a resource, and all those. Everything I have done, I am just reading it out. Next, number 2, what do you understand by the word utility? So if a substance can be used in any way, it is called to be used, said to have a utility. Again, resources means utility. Sorry, resources means value, and value means utility. Obviously, if it has values, it should do some work, right? You should have some usability. Next, number 3, what are natural resources? Next is that resources that are drawn directly from nature or are naturally born, that are called natural resources. Next, number 4, what is the name given to the type of resources that have limited stock? The answer is, the resources having limited stock are called renewable resources. As we know that the resources having ultimate stocks are known as renewable resources. Next is, how are resources classified? Um, how are resources classified to their, uh, what do I say? Distribution. So on basis of the distribution, resources can be classified into two things, that is um, ubiquitous and localized resources. Okay, this is the answer. Next question is that give three examples of a biotic resource. So the three examples of a biotic resource would be air, land, and soils. This is important. In the next chapter, which is chapter number 2 of geography, there is land, soils, and water, or landscape, something like this. So we will also learn about this in the next class. Okay, next one. So this is the answer. Next question is, how are human made resources different from natural resources? So the answer is, human made resources have been created by human beings, whereas you see that natural resources are provided by nature. Okay, so this is the answer, you see. Next, number 8 is, what is human resource development? So a human resource development is that the improving quality of human skills, both mental ability and physical ability, to make them more useful, is known as resource uh, development, human resource development. Now what we'll do is learn, just a second, what's this, just a second, very okay. Till now what we did was very short answer type questions. Now we will do some short, only short answer types, not very short, but only short answer types of class A geography chapter 1 resources. Let us start. First is explain the terms of resources conservation and sustainable development. So I'll explain first and then tell you. So the answer is that resource conservation is the concept of using resources so carefully and so that they do not end up quickly, and the future generations, or you can say the sustainable development also needs the resource, but if we keep them using as fast as in a fast rate or in a fast pace, they may end up so thus posing problems for the future. This can make barriers of problems for the future, and we should use resources in such a balanced way that we satisfy our need as well as conserve them for the future. So this concept is known as what sustainable development. So this is what you see, the answer. This is what we called sustainable development and conservation. So this is the explanation of the terms. In the previous videos, two videos, I have already explained more evaporately that what is resource conservation, what is conservation, sustainable development, why it is needed, and many more. Next question. So, so next is, why are human beings resources? Now this is important that you see that human beings are intelligent living beings, even if it's mental or physical. So what they do is that they can use their intelligence to realize the utility or usability of substance. So had there been no, for example, there had been no humans, the resources would have not been the resources, right? So you see that human beings are interdependent on each other and they prove useful to each other. For example, a postman renders us as an important service, so he is a, so it is a resource. Okay, now if you have any questions you can ask me. Okay. Okay, so here is the answers for you. Answer this one. Human beings are intelligent, and for example, a postman renders us an important service, so he is also a resource. So you see, postman is also a resource. You know, even policemen, teachers are also resources. Engineers are also resources because they use their intelligence. Obviously, we also use our intelligence, but uh, they help us. Okay, what is the next question? Next question is, explain how resources are classified broadly. Okay, so the answer for this will be that what do I say? That human resources, resource or just resources are broadly classified into three different, what do I say? Different resources, mainly classified. So these three are natural resources, human made resources, and human resources. So natural resources are that those are naturally taken from the nature, and they are used without modifying them. For example, rivers, lakes, air, soils, minerals, trees, mountains, and etc. etc. Now, what are human made resources? Human made resources, as you can see, that it have been provided to us by nature, and human beings are that have been used their intelligence to uh, so so you see, human made resources are not provided by human nature, or by the, sorry, the nature. So human beings have used their own intelligence to manufacture them for their own use. So examples include that, for example, vehicles, buildings, telephones, roads, and etc etc. Now, what are human resources? Now, human resources are that include people who serve us in any way. For example, a teacher, doctor, carpenter, cobbler, engineer, scientist. These are all human resources. So this is the answer for you all. I hope you can see. You can take a screenshot or you can write the slides. Next one is number 4. Write a short note on the significance of time and technology in making a substance or resource. So you see, time and technology, these two are broadly very important in our lives. Time and technology, both. So, with the time and technology, what happens? It develops. Obviously, the time and technology develops, and as the technology develops, we begin with the time, we begin to discover new ways to make our life better, more better and better. Like this laptop I'm teaching in right now, like the pen, sorry, not the pen, the mobiles, the gadgets, the television, the for example, the games, or even the fridge is also a new type of technology, right? So you see, an invention in the process, certain substances which are useless to us earlier can also become very useful. So you see, these wires were not important in the ancient time, in the historical period. These wires were not so much important, but now they are. Why? Because it is because of time. Okay, with the time, uh, an invention or discovery can give us new resources, and an example we can give is hydroelectricity. So this technology, what does this technology do? That this technology has made the water a source of electricity. This is the answer here. Okay, next I'll move on. Next is number 5. The question is, as human beings, how can we ensure sustainable development? This is a quite good answer. So you see that the answer will be, since we are living on the earth, there in the book also there are 3 points given, that it is our duty to practice sustainable development. So the three, you can go to your books, textbooks, you can see there that the usage of renewable resources is sustainable, and the next is the number second is the diversity of life on earth is maintained, and the third is that the damage caused to nature by our activities is as low as possible. So this is the answer. Here it is written toe, but I'm sorry, this is misprinted. Printed. It will be low here. Okay, sorry. Just a second. Don't know what is happening. So now this is the end. Okay. Now, after doing the exercise, I have given you some questions. Then the exercise books we have already done. Next, some short type very short type answers we have also done, and then short type answers. And now what we'll do is do a long type answer. Only one question is there. We'll continue. Okay, so this is for class 8 geography chapter 1, resources long answer type questions. So the first question is, there is only one question. So the question is, describe how resources are classified. So you see that resources are broadly classified into natural, human made, and human resources. These are the three main important resources. In this chapter we have heard of these three words many times, and I'm kind of bored. Next is that natural resources are those that are taken from nature. We just now did this question. I don't know, this number 3 question, classify how resources are classified broadly. This part is the same answer that is being copy pasted here. Examples including vehicles, buildings, roads, telephones, and etc. Rivers, lakes, air, soils, minerals, trees, mountains, and etc. are natural resources. Next we can tell this was about natural resources, right? Next we will move on to the, I'm sorry, just a second. Next we will move on to the human resource. Next one is human resource, which includes people who serve us in any way. It can be a teacher, carpenter, gobbler, doctor, scientist, engineer, and many persons in professions are human resources. This is the answer part. uh, Next part will be on the I would say on the basis of development, level of development. A resource can be actual or potential resources. So an actual resource is the one that is being used currently, and we know their quantity. And as a potential resource is one whose utility is not known at present, but and or is not used despite having utility. Instead it can be useful at any time in future, but we can also not be alive till then, right? So it is an potential resource. So mm, you see that on the basis of now origin, the basis we have to, now then the basis of the origin is a biotic. And a biotic is the resource that has life. You see the answers. And abiotic are the resource that is non-living, and natural resources may be classified as renewable and non-renewable. Even though they are not alive or non-alive, they are from the nature. They are given us from the nature, and they have some work, the utility or the usability, but they are not living. They are not living. Okay, so next part, we say that on the other hand, you see that the use of non-renewable resources needs to be controlled, since once they are end up and they cannot be renewed. No, non-renewable resources can be renewed again. So we need to keep that in mind. Next, we can move on to the that we'll we have done on the basis of level of development, then on the basis of origin, and now we'll do on the basis of distribution. This is the answer. So on the basis of distribution, what happens is, on the basis of distribution, a resource can be uh, ubiquitous or localized. And a ubiquitous resource is found everywhere, and a localized resource is however found in certain parts of the world world only. This is the answer. I hope you can see. And now I'll short this one so that you can see it totally. This is the, sorry, just bear with it, this part, total part. This is the total answer of the long answer type question. Okay. So, this is the end of my class. I hope you have liked my video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe my channel, and please click the bell icon, so that whenever I'm online you can watch my live videos, and obviously watch my videos. Thank you, and good night. Bye bye.